y'all know.
Good evening. I'd like to call Property Management Committee to order. First order of business, roll call.
Commissioner Dodd? Present. Commissioner Davidson? Here. Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
Commissioner Phillips? Commissioner Irving? Here. Commissioner Johnson?
Present.
Chairman McAdoo?
Here.
Thank you.
Next, approval of minutes, Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Chairman McAdoo. I have reviewed the February minutes of our property management meeting and found them in order, and I move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Public comments? No public comments. Facilities Maintenance Report, Director Dodd.
Good evening. Commissioners, we'll start tonight's report off with the Las Casas Public Health and Safety Building. The site work remains ongoing at roughly 90% complete. The swell and the stormwater drain are at 95%. They have some final grading, seeding, strawing to do in the back. The roof work, including the fascia, soffit, the flashing, is now complete. Lap siding, caulk, paint, touch-up is now complete. However, I did add some minor touch-up this week when we went out and put together our punch list. The final dirt work and sod at the front entrance is to be completed by the end of next week. The mechanical, plumbing, and electrical are now complete. Plumbing and electrical have passed final inspections. The mechanical and the building should be completed by the end of next week. The cabinets and millwork are now complete. Low voltage and alarm monitoring have passed inspection, and the building is now being monitored by ECT Fire. Final paint and trim out are complete. The HVAC mechanical room modifications that we discussed last month are complete. We compiled a punch list this week. We met out there Tuesday with the architect and the contractor. We've sent that list to the contractor to go ahead and start correcting those issues. There was nothing that we found. Everything that we found was to be minor. The contractor has scheduled, we're still waiting on the civil to come out and perform the as-builts. Contractor anticipates that hopefully by the end of next week. That has pushed us off a couple of weeks with some of these finals. The contractor anticipates receiving our CO between April the 1st and April the 12th. And what that does is that provides us with a move-in date of approximately April the 15th. Decontamination room, restrooms on your right. Kitchen. Command center. Living quarters or living room. EMS. And that completes my report on the Las Casas.
Any questions on it?
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Please.
Dodd?
Thanks. Mr. Dodd, I noticed driving through out there last week, the stone wall looked like it was being erected down the east side of the building. Is that something we're doing?
That's something that the PBA and the community, the Las Casas community, organized, while the contractor was still there performing site work. So yes, they wanted to go ahead and tie in that wall and not just take it across the front entrance, but also around the side that you're describing.
Good. I know that wall was special and had some history, and seeing here, it looks like we've refurbished some of it, so I'm glad to see that that wall's being salvaged and added to.
I had mistakenly, over the past 3 months, as we've gotten closer and closer, have not included a picture of that wall, but it's my understanding that there is a great deal of historic relevance to that stone wall, and they wanted, they worked real hard to rebuild it and incorporate it into the project. So I'll move on to the to the Walter Hill location. I'm sorry. That site work is ongoing at approximately 70% complete. The underground is approximately 90% complete. The site fire line, the sprinkler riser, and that tie-in is now complete and has passed inspection. The roof work is ongoing. The fascia, the soffit, and the flashing is approximately 30% complete. The exterior lap siding installation is now complete. The mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and above ceiling work is ongoing. Low voltage rough-in is at approximately 80% complete. Middle Tennessee Electric set the meter this week, so we should have primary power. If they didn't get primary power today, it'll be tomorrow. The drywall, first prime and paint coats are now complete. The ceiling grid installation is now complete, and the wet area work is roughly 90% complete with tiles, showers, and wall mount fixtures. There's a good look at the grid and some of the lighting going in. See into the dorm rooms. And that's the tile work I'm describing in the wall mount fixtures. The only thing we lack fixture-wise as far as the rough-in goes is anything that's floor mounted. That 4-week look ahead is the mechanical, plumbing, and electrical, the building inspections, and that gas meter is what we're kind of, the only real holdup right now is getting that gas meter installed. And as a result of that installation, that will get us heating and cooling throughout the building. And once we get that, then those floors can be acclimated, and we'll start to see our floor coverings go down, and then that will be followed with our floor mount fixtures. The exterior door hardware and installation should be within the next 4 weeks. There are no new change orders associated with this project, and our targeted move-in date still remains the end of May, possibly early June. We're still quite a ways out before I can give a definite date. That's looking into the restrooms again. Into your garage base. And again, your front entrance. That completes my report on Walter Hill.
Any questions on Walter Hill?
Yes, sir,
Commissioner
please.
Dodd?
The last Cassis looked like it had a coating on the floors.
Yes.
Does this one get a coating as well?
Yes, sir.
So all of them get a coating now?
Correct.
Cool. That first one, the last Cassis, again, looked great.
It was pretty much unanimous across the board with all the PBA, the users. We had this discussion from a user standpoint. It's not just. It wasn't just for appearances. It's also it protects the concrete, it seals it, and it also makes it easier for the first responders to live in those areas and clean those areas instead of without that smooth, covered concrete.
Any other questions on Walter Hill?
Commissioners, I'll move on. Last month, we discussed we discussed some stormwater that was escaping the new site of our Kittrell Public Health and Safety Building. And that water was directed towards the building, the red building that you can see on your far left. You can see just the one wall of it. But what we did, we went in and we cut out, we took it down to the grade, we built it back up, and this is a transition curb, if you will. It's approximately 9 inches deep, 16 inches wide, and about 30 feet long. And what that does is it ties into the existing curb that was there per site plans. And it carries that water across that entrance and exit where that water was escaping the site in the direction of the Board of Education storage facility there. So this was taken Tuesday when we were having, during those heavy downpours, and you can see there from both sides of that transition where no water is escaping that site. What you see on your right is the asphalt, and you can see that other than surface rainwater that's hitting it, you can still see some of the dust from the form and the pour that was done the week prior to the storm. So that's just to give you an example of how well that transition is diverting that water off of that new site into that's the additional drainage ditch that I described to you on your right. And what we did was we went in and tied that into the contractor swell. And that diverts the water approximately 60 feet from the site to a lower elevation. So you can see there the water that it's channeling now, and you can see the gravel on your left coming off of that site, where there's not an excessive amount of water now in that area. So. However, the site conditions do allow for water to pond and travel towards that building. I assume that's how it always has been. That parking lot is a very low. That building is a very low elevation, and that's a low grade. Those were existing conditions. I think we've discussed that. I am going to. I've already reached out to the Board of Education. I think I'm going to tackle that too. I think I can make it better. I think we can do it in-house, and that's what I want to do. So I've told them just let me have a go at it, and I think that when we get done, when we finish doing what little bit of modifications that we want to do, I think all parties involved here will be satisfied with our efforts. I mean, you can see from the pictures there that it's already a great improvement from how the site was left.
Any questions? As Director Dodds stated, he's going beyond what he's supposed to do and going over to the Kittrell Community Parking Garage and help them out with their drainage problem. Keep water from running in their building. And he's coordinated with the Board of Education. Excuse me, and he think he can get it done with no cost, and he's willing to do that. So that will help him out in that area. Any questions on Kittrell?
Commissioners, I don't have any new information other than the schedule that I presented to you last month for Plainview, nor the recovery court. The schedule is what it is, so it's just a waiting game now for all of our drawings and our construction documents to be finalized.
Questions on those two projects?
If I might add, that's the front entrance of the storage facility there. That has been the topic of conversation. You can see that there's still some stormwater naturally there, but we received quite a bit of water this week, and you can see there from those pictures taken midday Tuesday that water did not penetrate that entrance. So, like I said, I think we're headed in the right direction. I think we made a major improvement, but I think we can make it better.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Director Dodd? If not, thank you for your report. Got something else? I'll bring it up on the other business. And next on the agenda is parking garage discussion. Ed, if you look at your tablet, you will see that it says parking garage, county attorney name. Took the county attorney name off our agenda tonight. What we would like to do, if you got any questions on the parking garage, go ahead and submit them, and we will pass them along to the county attorney. Therefore, he would have time to do the research and bring it back to us. Instead of him being on the agenda tonight to take direct questions, we would like to give him some time to do his research before responding back to this committee. So if you got any questions on parking garage, you can bring them up tonight, or you can present them, and we will get the county attorney to get us an answer on them. So do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? Commissioner Dodd?
Are the abandoned vehicles still on site, or is this the point of your question? Do we need to make a formal request that those be moved, or ask our attorney to formally request they be moved?
We'll call Director Dodd back up because we were discussing that this morning.
Commissioner, the answer to your question is there are a couple of individuals that are still using the parking garage to live in and out of a vehicle. That's really the only issue that we have now. The conditions there, as I was told Commissioner McAdoo this morning, that have improved greatly, especially from a security standpoint. But as far as the homeless, I guess, individual or individuals that are in and out, that's really what we need to focus on addressing. Is how can we police that, and how can we get those individuals to leave?
Make one statement on our discussion this morning. The Sheriff Department is doing an excellent job, along with the city of Murfreesboro, in patrolling that parking garage, and they have had some homeless people removed, and I think they even arrested one. They are on top of it, working on it, so it's not something that they just put aside. It has improved tremendously over there. Any other questions on up on the parking garage? All right, we'll move on to Weekly Lane property.
Commissioners, earlier this month, I guess myself and this committee, we acquired a vacant parking lot located at 135 Weekly Lane. This property was the old Rutherford County Convenience Center on Weekly Lane that has now been replaced by our new location at 112 G Street. After a short site meeting, a joint effort to clean this property up between facilities and the solid waste department was completed. I worked with MTE and the Smyrna Water Department to terminate the electricity and the water to this site. All billing information associated with the utilities has been terminated, and we are waiting on some materials to complete a section of temporary fence that we're gonna go across the front of this property, blocking off the 3 entrances to access the property, and we will post signs for liability purposes. And we notified the risk management department and updated them as well on the status of this property. And
Any questions on Weekly? I ask Commissioner Johnson for his input on Weekly Lane property.
Yes. Adam, I just want to commend you on the work you did out there and on the work you do everywhere. You don't have to be begged to do anything, and I and everyone else in here knows we're not your bosses, but when we come to you and we bring up a problem, it's addressed immediately by you, and even beyond what is expected, just like out at Kittrell. I mean, it's just very heartwarming to have a man of your stature in your position as a county employee. You're just outstanding in the job that you do. You went out there to Weekly Road, kind of took the bull by the horns, and then Bishop pitched in with his people, but you did a fantastic job out there. You've pretty much eliminated any liability that we had out there, and we did have liability out there. Live boxes, electric boxes, water, open lot, people still dumping because it looked like a dump, because it was left in very poor condition. But like I said, you went out there, no problem, I'll take care of it, and you did, and I really appreciate that.
sir.
Same here. I think all the members of the committee know what an excellent job he do, and he do go beyond his job qualification or job description to get a lot of things done for the county. So whenever we can, we need to recognize that and give him a attaboy for doing it, because he don't have to do it. He don't have. Any other discussion on Weekly Lane? We're going to bring up another business, Haley Convenience Center.
Yes, sir. I apologize. This the PowerPoint has reset itself. Okay. Commissioners, about 2 or 3 months ago, we received a phone call for a plumbing issue. I just wanted to make you aware that I'll be sending out an RFP to address some much-needed repairs at this recycling center. As you can tell, if you're familiar with this building at all, the old dog pound, This building has some significant age, it has some significant wear and tear on it, and until our solid waste department started utilizing it as a recycle center, it sat vacant for quite some time. I do know that. The building's in need of some pretty major repairs. It needs a roof. It needs some plumbing repairs. We think that this building, the best that we can, information that we can gather is a late 1950s, and someone in this room very well might have some more accurate information, or early 1960s construction. And with that, we found that all the plumbing and all the drain lines within that building are under slab, and they're cast. And you know the problems that cast iron plumbing can cause when it ages significantly. So, in the process of looking at some of these repairs that we were going to have to make for the employees that work in this facility, it's open, Monday through Thursday. We decided to just go ahead and look at the roof, look at the plumbing, and the HVAC. Currently, the roof has more than exceeded its lifespan, and we have some damage there. As you can see, there's several patches. Some of those patches our department did in-house. But the roof deck has taken in some water, so there's some rot in the roof deck. Structurally, the joist and the rafters and all that good stuff are in good condition. The shell of the building, the bones, if you will, are in good condition. If we go ahead and address some of these issues now, but the HVAC, they have some heat in a portion of the building, but the entire building is not conditioned. So I was just making you aware that there are some repairs that we're going to have to look at making on this building. Some of them are major, as far as redoing the plumbing and the drain lines and tying into the sewer system, the roof deck, and some damage to the ceilings, to the drywall ceiling and walls that was a result from that roof leak. But I have been in contact throughout this process with Bishop. Bishop asked me, to kind of help him to put together some numbers, and I do want to say that the cost associated with these repairs will be covered under Bishop's solid waste, his maintenance and repairs budget. So I'm not asking for any funds to make these repairs. I'm just notifying the committee here that we are looking to make some repairs to this building.
Adam, can that plumbing issue, can that plumbing be run overhead instead of jackhammering that floor? Would that be more cost effective to do that?
No, sir. It's the drains and the toilets and everything. They're going to be in the floor. So, but moving that and what we're going to do, instead of to save on I wasn't going to get into this, but since you asked, what we're looking to do is kind of reconfigure how the building is laid out, not with any major construction, but just utilizing the room differently. So if there's a storage room here that's close to the exterior wall, which is where the plumbing would leave the building and tie in to the main, or to the clean out, we're just going to switch what they're using right now as a storage room and turn that into the bathroom. So we're minimizing those cutting. We're minimizing the cutting. We're minimizing the length of the pipe, and ultimately minimizing the cost. But your drains for your toilets and in your water lines and everything, they'll have to be in the ground, in the floor, I should say.
Any other questions on this project? Pretty sure Public Works will hear about it. Pass along to them, and I think what Commissioner Irvin, you on budget, aren't you? If we need some money, I know we got a right-hand man over here can get out of budget, correct?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I can barely hear you, so.
I said, if we need any money, I know you can drag it out of budget, right?
Well, we'll see, I guess.
Any other questions on Haley Convenience Center? Okay, next, we're going to start our tour back next month. We canceled the tour due to the weather for the last 3 months. And we were looking at the juvenile center. That's what we were looking at 3 months ago, and that's what we're going to try to go with next meeting at 3:30, the juvenile center. Unless you got another one that you want to see. Everybody agree on juvenile center? What if you? Yes, sir. All right, is there any other business to come before us tonight?
Sir.
Not entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, meeting adjourned.